What's up, everybody? Back again with another video. This is a book review. We're looking at a book by Andrew Greet about the Accelerated Dragon, as you can see, and I also placed it in links below. I just want to remind everybody, ChessAudiobooks is on chess.com, Chess, Twitter, and Instagram, all under the same name. So if you want to play me or follow me on any of those platforms, feel free to do so, or just stop in, leave me a message and say what's up if you've been checking out my videos. Alright, so we're going to look at a game from 2005 from the European Championship that took place in Warsaw, Poland, which is the capital, as you can see by the map right there, of Poland, between Karyakin with the white pieces and Vasily Ivanchuk with the black pieces. Alright, this is a great book. It's about 600 pages, written by international master Greet. But he goes into detail. If you really want to learn about the Accelerated Dragon, this is a great book. And what I like about it, it's not biased for black or white. It's just giving you the information and the best pathways for both sides. So in this particular game, this is from the chapter dealing with the quote-unquote Yugoslav attack attempts against the dragon, and he goes into great detail, bringing up the differences between the traditional dragon and the accelerated dragon from white's perspective, and when white tries to engage in the Yugoslav attack. If you don't know what that is, you should look that Yugoslav attack up in the dragon's very aggressive system with F3, opposite wing castling, usually H4, H5, cracking open black's king side, and just check and sack mate, as Bobby Fischer once said. Very aggressive system, but against accelerated dragon, you really can't play in that exact manner. All right, and it's just due to the move order and the fact that black will gain a tempo, because if you notice here, he hasn't played the move D5 here, and he has not played the move he hasn't played D5 or D6 here. And he also has not played the move Knight F6, and this gives black the extra time because he has invested his time in other moves. Black wants to play D5 in one shot, okay, and he also wants to attack the white center square D4, right? So he's not worried about E4 at this time. He wants to attack D4, and of course there's a price to pay in exchange, if you will, where white has to make a choice, and he can't play lines with Knight C3, as we'll see in this game. But one of the major lines in the Accelerated Dragon is what's known as the Marazzi bind, where white just plays the move C4. Okay, so the first couple of chapters were dedicated to kind of like sidelines, and then he gets into the Yugoslav attack variations, where white tries to play aggressively, Knight C3, Bishop C4, sometimes trying to castle queen side and things like that. And then the final 4 chapters, I believe, are dedicated to the Marazzi bind. So very good details. Check out the reviews on Google, about the book, or Amazon. And also, if you get the book through this link, it'll help this channel out. So please do that. And let's get into this game. So this is from the chapter on the Yugoslav attack options from white. So Karyakin again has the white pieces, Ivanchuk black pieces. And notice G6 is played, not Knight F6. Bishop G7, so there's attack on D4 right away, Bishop E3, and now Knight F6. In earlier chapters, he discusses what happens if white plays F3 here and tries to go into traditional Yugoslav attack. F3 is actually not correct here, and what's dangerous about it is that it looks very natural. Like if you're a dragon player, is a Yugoslav attack player is white, it looks perfectly fine, okay? But just those little differences, nuances in the position, make all the difference here. And so Bishop C4, this is the main move here, because again, black is trying to play D5 in one shot. All right, so this is almost like a must for white to play Bishop C4. Queen A5, castles. So Knight B3, Queen C7 here. And now Ivanchuk plays Bishop G5. I added these highlights, and of course they're interspersed with Andrew Greet's own notes here. Now the idea behind bishop g5 is to take the knight on f6 and play knight d5. So you say, wait a minute, why would Ivanchuk play a6 here? The idea here is to keep the e5 square open. Therefore, if bishop takes knight d5, then the queen can come to e5 safely. And notice the b pawn is being attacked there. This is why you don't see you didn't see the move d6 played at this point. All right, if you play d6, then bishop takes knight d5, and then the queen has to just go, you know, in obscurity back to b8 or like d8 or something like that. So little subtleties here. Bishop e2, and now he plays d6. All right, now Karyakin trades, bishop takes, and now e takes. And you might be saying, hey, wait a minute, why is black's position, you know, look damaged all of a sudden? Well, you have to understand is that although black's pawn structure is damaged, he does have compensation for the damaged pawn structure by having the bishop here. All right, so another thing I want to point out too is that notice that black still has his dark square bishop, white doesn't. So this bishop is going to be very powerful in these type of positions. Look at all the dark squares and just think that only black's bishop can control those squares. All right, so there's some dynamic factors, you know, balancing the static features in the position that white holds an advantage in. Queen d2, knight e7, rook a d1, and now f5. Attacking the e pawn, of course. Bishop e5, takes, and now knight d4. Bishop retreats, and so now Ivanchuk, he has an isolated pawn, but again, bishop here is compensation. Bishop takes, bishop c6, bishop b3, and now queen b6. King h1. The idea is to free up the f pawn to start an attack on the king side. So this is what Karyakin does. Knight f3, and now a5. Good move to sorry about the bugs. Starting to get nice out here. Summertime is on its way. So a5, starting some kind of play on the queen side, of course. f5, a4, and now bishop c4, and whoa, bug this for my. So queen takes b2 here. So Karyakin is basically going all out. He's saying, hey, I'm gonna attack on the king side, and he's willing to give up some material. And knight g5, putting pressure, of course, on the f7 pawn. Rook d7, bishop d3, king g7. This adds some extra protection to the bishop there on f6. And now queen f4. A better move would have been rook b1, knocking the queen away for Karyakin, right? Getting the queen away from the protection of the bishop on f6. Notice how the king is only protecting it now. And then rook b4. The idea behind rook b4 would have been to swing the rook over to say f4 or even h4. All right. Andrew Greet's notes right here. However, with queen f4, it looks good lining up on the f file like that, but the queen is still on b2 and the protection is still in place. So therefore, black is able to, you know, just play a useful move, which he does. He moves the rook to a nice open file. Knight f3, and now queen takes a2. So although white's attack looks a little intimidating, Ivanchuk has calculated and said, hey, I don't think he can checkmate me here. So he just takes another pawn, and now there's a dangerous pass pawn on the board that white has to worry about. Rook d1, queen b2, making room for the pass pawn. c3, queen takes c3. All right, and this is just like that's a little desperation here on Karyakin's part. So he sacrifices the pawn c3 and then plays rook e3, trying to gain some time. Queen c5, bishop e4. Ivanchuk pushes, bishop takes, b takes, rook e2, and the rook a7 just gonna push the pawn. 2, and Karyakin's attack comes too late. After a1 queen, he resigns. He's just gonna lose a piece here after the continuation. So anyway, that was just a quick example of the type of material that is in this book. I suggest, like, if you're interested in Accelerated Dragon for white or black, that you should consider making that purchase down there in the link below. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're new to my channel, thanks for joining. Check out the other videos on my channel. A lot of content there, and I just want to remind everybody that I'm also on chess.com, Lead Chess, Twitter, and Instagram. So follow me there, or come and challenge me to a friendly game. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next video, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below.